So hello students, welcome back, and today we are going to continue our series on genetics chapter 5. So previously we did learn about all these things about genotype, phenotype, chromosome. So before I proceed a new video, maybe we just do some recap about the previous video. So I just want to ask you, what is genotype and phenotype?
Genetic information in an organism. Phenotype is the physical characteristic shown in an organism.
Okay, so it's almost the same, but it is not the same. Okay, genotype is the genetic information in an organism. Phenotype is the physical activity. So that's why it's the word gene. We can see the word gene showing that is from genetic information, and we have phenotype. The word P, we can also see that PH, and here is PH, is for physical characteristic. And why is it important? So from this picture we can see that this is the phenotype, this is the genotype. There sometimes the book will ask you to fill in the blank, and you need to fill it correctly lah, huh? And they will ask you define phenotype, which is the physical characteristic, and the genotype, which is the genetic information. So what we can see, actually the phenotype is tall. The phenotype is dwarf. Dwarf means very small or short. Depend on what the, usually how you know, usually student don't know. Student don't know because they did not read the question. Because sometimes the question very long, then the student will just go and try to do, I don't know, then maybe they will skip. But usually if the question asks phenotype, read properly, usually is in the question. Genotype is also in the question. Okay, so just be careful, fill in the blank, and the question will say what is the phenotype. Then you say tall and short, for example. And what is the phenotype? Is the TT and TT. Sorry, this is the genotype. Just now is the phenotype. So this one you need to know lah. Other than that, I think nothing much confusing already, because this one is the, again, this is the same genotype and phenotype of the offspring. Offspring, the baby. The offspring of the genotype and phenotype. So you will get tall plant. Okay, this is undergo meiosis. Okay, of production of the gamete, or only in the meiosis only happen in the gamete cell, which is the sperm and ovum only. Okay, so you have some variation, and after that you do again, you have tall dwarf. Okay, we are not going to do this because I think you still remember previous video we talked about how to get all the phenotype and genotype of the offspring. I hope you still can remember. Okay, so now let me try to ask you a question. Looking at this one, the bottom part. Where's my pen? Is it here? Okay, looking at the down part, this part. So I have the parental phenotype is the father able to roll tongue and the mother unable to roll tongue. The genotype is BB and BB. So my question is, how many of the offspring able to roll tongue and unable? So usually got 4 lah, we know. So my question is, how many offspring or chances that the offspring can roll tongue or cannot? What are the ratio? So would you like to pause the video and try to do? So what is the answer? Can do or not? What are the ratio, or what are the chances that the offspring can roll tongue and cannot roll tongue?
For able to roll tongue,
4 able to roll tongue, so eventually you get correct, okay, because it's B, capital B, after you times like the factorization in mathematics, you should able to get B, okay. I'm not going to go back to previous video how you can get all these things. You need to you see watch back my previous video, so all is able to roll tongue. The student answer 4. It depends on the question lah. Let's say the question is what are the chances, so you need to answer the chances are 100%. 100% of the offspring able to roll tongue. So let's make it clear. Let's say the question asks you what are the ratio. So the ratio will be 1.0. Actually it's 4.0 lah, but it's 1.0, which means that the ratio for the 1 will be the ratio for the 1 will be ability to roll tongue. Therefore all of early children able to roll tongue. Now make it clear, let's say in the exam they ask you what are the chances. I think if they say about the chances, I will write 100% of the chances that her offspring able to roll tongue. If you want to say 4, you cannot say 4 or 4 doesn't make sense. How to say 4? 4 very difficult to say unless you say 4 out of 4 chances that the mother offspring able to roll tongue. So just make it clear, whatever people ask lah, and then we try to explain it in a clear way. Okay, so that is the thing. Ability to roll tongue that we have the male and female. Male is XX 44 plus XX. Female is male is 44 plus XY. So who determine, which gamete determine the gender of the offspring? Okay, so it will be the sperm that determine the gender of the offspring. Let me adjust center a bit. Can I zoom in? So difficult to zoom in. Wait, what is happening? Okay, moving on. All these things already do. Mutation we also learned already. So mutation causes gene mutation, chromosome mutation like Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, and Klippel syndrome. So Down syndrome is the cause is extra of chromosome, terminal lack of chromosome, and Klippel syndrome is due to the chromosome of XX and Y. We have also have gene mutation, color blindness, sickle cell anemia, thalassemia, hemophilia, albinism. Okay, so this one we already learned in the previous video. Okay, so today we are going to learn about factor that causes gene mutation. So why this thing happen? Why the baby come out from the parent got problem? Why some people come out the baby very strong, very healthy, and some people when the baby come out the baby not so healthy? So of course when the parent have a baby, they will feel happy if the baby is healthy. Let's say the parent usually wait in the hospital ma. So when they come out, yeah, there is a baby. So everyone feel very happy. But if the baby got issue, like maybe the baby die, or when the baby come out one leg don't have, or one hand don't have, or the baby come out the two babies stick together. So this is the complication. And why this thing happen? Because by knowing why this thing happen, we can prevent. So hopefully we learn science not just to exam come out. You learn so that one day when you want to have baby, or when after you get married with your girlfriend or boyfriend, then you want to have a healthy baby. So why this thing happen? Mutation also cause external factor as mutation. So one of the factor is external factor, maybe internal factor, external factor. Internal factor maybe not much thing you can do, maybe due to your genetic. But usually it's not internal factor, it's due to external factor like mutation. What are mutation? So we can see that
Genetic material, usually DNA, is an organism and thus increases the frequency of mutation above the natural background level.
yeah, okay, so that will be mutation. Okay, anything that cause a change of DNA can be caused by mutation and harm the cell, such as anything lah, anything that cause the mutation. So it could be X-ray, ultraviolet light, chemical. So the thing that cause anything lah, that cause mutation can be considered as mutation. Okay, mutate from the word mutation. So yeah, if you got watch Ninja Turtle, they always say mutation because the tortoise, the virus go into the tortoise and then somehow the tortoise mutate and it become a ninja turtle. So that is the movie lah, mutation. But usually these things don't happen because according to you know what theory, usually mutation happen, the thing will become worse, not become good. So usually more mutation means more people will die unless you very lucky, then you get a very good mutation. But usually not lah, because sometimes mutation happen and some people very clever because they are mutate, they are special, they have a special mind. One of it, I'm not saying Elon Musk mutate lah, but as you can see, Elon Musk actually he got autism. You know autism I think it's called 自闭症 lah. I don't know lah, is it called Chinese? It's called autism. Elon Musk has that. That's why when you see him talking, he don't look at your eye one. Sometimes he talk, he look there and he talk and he like that talk. But he's a very clever person. But he got autism when he was young. But autism is a small thing lah. When you grow up, you try to change it. Okay, so what are the things that cause mutation? So you can see from the book, magazine, you can find your information. Very good lah. This one that you ask student to do. Find the book, magazine, website, and maybe this one I don't know lah. Maybe your teacher and friend. So sometimes it's natural, sometimes it's radioactive ray. Radioactive ray like the nuclear ray that cause mutation. X-ray in the hospital, yes, X-ray in the hospital. But you say why you go undergo X-ray? Of course you undergo X-ray because never mind, because it's only you only go for X-ray 3 years one time only so it doesn't really matter. But the doctor will go away because the doctor don't want to have a mutation. So this one you can see in the hospital lah. Every time they do X-ray, the doctor will go very far away. But you stay there because the doctor want to scan you, okay? But you don't scan every day so it should be alright. If can also, I don't scan. I am quite old already lah now. I did not even scan, but I know the scan is not healthy. Ultraviolet light is the sunlight. Sunlight is not healthy, so it will cause mutation. Like if I take a tissue put outside and rain, sunlight, this tissue will decompose faster than I put in a box. If I put in the box, which one will spoil faster? Of course, under the ultraviolet sunlight, so it is not healthy. So sometimes I go out, I try not to go out at 12 o'clock because we learn science so we need to plan. I try not to balik kampung at 12 o'clock because there is ultraviolet light and you can see here it causes mutation and it's not healthy. So sometimes the school say hot don't go and play basketball under the sun, correct or not? Because the weather is hot, the teacher or the parent 这样晒不要出去玩啊 is correct. You know why your parent is correct or the teacher is correct? Because the book say they can cause mutation. So what happened after you play in the afternoon and you go under the sun? You come back home, you got sickness, you got fever, correct or not? So eventually you will have fever and that is not healthy. Even I'm a guy, I don't go under the sun, I try my best. And I also use the umbrella. Even though I'm a guy, I still use umbrella. Then people will tell me, oh yeah, why you, actually I got a girlfriend, my girlfriend tell me, why under the sun also you take an umbrella? Because my girlfriend didn't take umbrella. Then I say, no, because he will say I'm very talkative lah, because got the ultraviolet light. That is not healthy. If you want to stay young and you want to stay beautiful, please don't go under the sun, because it will cause wrinkle. So you get faster, you get old lah. Always go under the sun, then you faster get old. If you want to always stay young, no need to buy SK2, then you don't go under the light. Carcinogen is anything that can cause cancer. That's why it's from the word carcinogen, from the word cancer. So what are the things that cause cancer? Here didn't write. Maybe smoking. Usually it's smoking lor. Maybe smoking. Some more got what? The thing that you eat have carcinogen. Like I don't know whether this thing have carcinogen or not. I don't know. But sometimes food have a lot of carcinogen. Maybe like KFC food or McDonald's food. That's why you don't eat so much lah. That's why more and more people got cancer. Every day you try to eat, see you got cancer at the earlier stage. Compare lah. If you choose A lah, the person that always go to KFC, McDonald's, and you compare B, the person that don't like to eat fast food, but he always exercise, he always sleep early, he always eat vegetable. So one is always eat vegetable, one is always eat fried chicken and fried burger. So of course the one that eat vegetable will stay healthier. Then you stay healthier so that it will not cause mutation, so that your baby will be healthier. That's why pregnant, the parent is very particular, correct or not? The grandparent, they will say, oh, you need to eat this, can eat this, cannot eat this, can eat this, cannot eat this. Now you need to practice this already. If you don't, later when you pregnant, the baby come out, the baby got problem, then you will regret it. Regret it because not only you make yourself very difficult, not only you make parent difficult, you make the children not healthy. The children not healthy because the mommy eating not healthy. So this is the sacrifice lah. You always reap what you sow. Means that you plant good tree, you will get a good tree. You plant bad tree, you will get a bad tree. So I prefer to, I don't know what Chinese proverb lah. Suffer now better than suffer later. Make your life difficult now, like study, take care of your health. Then in your later life, you will feel much more satisfied and happier. Pregnancy at late age, yeah. So last time I heard from my teacher is 30. Sometimes they change it to 35 already, I don't know. So you should get pregnant and have baby before the age of 30 or 35. I would say currently most people agree 35 lah, but the best is 30 lah. So you plan properly. If you're a guy, you plan lah, get a younger wife, and if you are a girl, you plan lah, maybe at the age of 25 you get married, 26 you get married, then age 30 you should have a baby lah, then the chances are the baby is healthier and is safer, because once you get old, it's become more dangerous. The older you get to have baby, the more dangerous. I would recommend age 30 lah, 30 will be, before 30 will be very nice. So you can plan plan. Don't marry, if can, don't marry too late. Choose not choose a good guy. I think the most important in a relationship is we make sure ourselves is good first. Because sometimes I talk to people, or even myself lah, I'm talking to myself. You like to choose, I want to choose like super idol or what, very handsome, very beautiful, but we need to ukur panjang baju sendiri, measure how long is your shirt first before you say you want to choose. So we try to be good, we try to improve ourselves first. For girl, you improve yourself, and the good guy will come after you. And if you are a guy, you should always be good. You'll be very good, you'll be very hardworking, you'll be very kind, and then usually girls will like you lah, because you are not because you are handsome, but because you are kind, you know how to take care of her and so on. So always focus on yourself, not focus on choose. Of course, choose is very important, but more important than that is what you can give to the people. Then that is called love, not what he can give. Because he can go fishing, cannot go fishing. No, you ask yourself what I can give. That is called the real love. Okay, why? Okay, next. Gene disorder disease. Okay, again, just now I forget to ask. So within just now, I start the video by asking what is genotype, what is phenotype, and after that, allele. Okay, allele is the one that carry the trait and inherit the family. So is there
the same locus or position in the homologous chromosome will 是这个吗？
Yeah, anyway, it's okay. The pair of gene that has the same locus as allele. So what is allele? Allele is, just make it simple lah. And maybe you guys can say it's a pair of gene. A pair of gene, either it can be a dominant or recessive allele, and allele is labeled as the either dominant allele or recessive allele. So you can see there is A, I, this one A and A. So you will have big A and small a. Okay, allele. We have the B and B. So we have B, B. We have C and big C and small c. So usually people don't do this lah. Because when you put C and C, people very confused because the shape is the same. So that's why you see people do T, people do T, people do A, people do A, people do B, B, people don't do C, C. Unless the teacher don't like you lah. If the teacher don't like you, he will put C and C. So the student will start to confuse. Then there is the chances for the teacher to reduce your mark because it will be more difficult to see. And D is a good because D and D you can see properly. Don't put C because sometimes students also like to do this. Sometimes they put X, and then because we ask the question ask students to draw so they draw then they draw allele one big X, small x. It makes me so confused. You put X, you put C, how I can see? This is this is not the teacher don't like the student don't like the teacher. So but you don't do that lah, then the teacher don't like you I will put wrong lah because I then the student will ask me, teacher, I put one big, one small, one upper case, lower case. I say I don't care. I'm old already, I cannot see properly, I will just put wrong. Next person. Okay, so this is the allele. So sometimes it confused because we already learn phenotype, we already learn genotype, and the phenotype usually is a sentence, the genotype is the you can see the genotype is the TT. And also not to be confused with allele because allele also is the TT. So sometimes students get confused whether should I write the genotype or whether should I write the allele. So allele is actually means the characteristic of the that usually represent by dominant or recessive allele. So then you ask me how I know I should write the answer in genotype or when I should ask the answer in allele. Depend on the question Let's say if the question asks you about there are some genetic that carry the dominant and recessive traits of the parent cell. So what is the thing, for example? Then you say it's the allele either the allele is dominant or recessive. Let's say if the question asks like what are the things that contain the genetic information of the organism. Then you write is the genotype lor, because you see genotype means the genetic, even though it's almost the same, but there is a different usage. Because when I say dominant and recessive, I can say the big T and the small t. I won't say the genotype. I also can say genotype, right? Genotype, big T and small t. It depends on how you want to use it lah. You can use both. But one thing we can be sure that here is always genotype lah. You don't put allele lah. Allele usually maybe is here. Allele usually is, if you want to label it as the dominant gene or recessive gene, we consider that as allele. So not to be confused, and we put here gamete. Okay, so I hope that you can understand this. Where was I? I want to conclude this already. Bear with me for one more minute. Where was I? Only here, only. Okay, never mind. Okay, so today what we learn about the thing that cause mutation. Okay, whether it is by natural, radioactive, X-ray, ultraviolet. Usually I think it will be carcinogen, and this one pregnancy at late age also is very dangerous. So the exam can ask you to write an essay about the factor that causes mutation. So maybe the question put 8 or 6 marks up to the question, and you need to explain if carcinogen, maybe the person always eat smoking and eat things that are not healthy, such as acid benzoic in a chili. So when you go to market, you buy, you see the acid benzoic. If I'm not mistaken, that is it considered as carcinogen? I'm not sure, but I know it's smoking. So you just give some example some example a bit, so that you got more marks. Explain a bit maybe you can see one of the thing that cause mutation is radioactive rays. Then maybe you just add something you say radioactive ray will change the person, will cause the gene to mutate, something like that just try your best to explain a bit.